Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Did you watch Saved by the Bell?
Not really.
You didn't?
My little cousin did.
Yeah, I remember seeing it when it was on TV.
I
I've
was
seen it.
I was kind of beyond.
A little too old for this?
Yeah.
Well, coming up later on the program today, Peter Engel, one of the people that put that TV program together, he's got a new book called I Was Saved by the Bell, and I'm going to be chatting with him on the program today.
Oh,
excited about that.
Interesting.
What would you say if I told you that for many years, the globe on the NBC Nightly News spun in the wrong direction, and it wasn't until 1984 they finally set the world spinning the right way? So from the day they launched up until 1984, the world was spinning the wrong direction. Somebody finally was like, notice your globe is going the wrong way. You want to fix that?
That makes sense to me. The world wasn't going in the right direction until Reagan came into office. So.
This was in 84, though. He had already been in office for 4 years.
He had already fixed all of the mistakes by then, and we were heading in the right direction.
Hey,
See?
since we're sneaking up on Valentine's Day, I'm going to talk about kissing. Experts say kissing a child's boo-boo, okay, I guess that doesn't have anything to do with Valentine's Day. It does actually make it feel better. The child believes the pain will stop, and that triggers some endorphins that actually make the pain stop. So kissing a boo-boo really does do something. So there you go. Now you know. Coming up, we've got some special stuff going on today. We'll tell you about that in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Wednesday, February the 8th. Today is Boy Scout Anniversary Day. I was not a Boy Scout growing up. I wanted to be, but I didn't get to be. Oh, you weren't?
No.
Imagine that. It's also Laugh and Get Rich Day. I laugh a lot, so come on, next part. And it's Oprah Day. When I first looked at it, I thought it was... Oh, no, it's Opera Day. I said Oprah Day. When I first looked at it, I thought it said Oprah Day. It's Opera Day.
My dad cannot say that.
I know he cannot say that. Excuse me, I coughed in the middle there. I got a frog in my throat, so I'm gonna have to drink something. Coming up in a moment, we've got more things to chat about, and I'm gonna see if I can get rid of this frog. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.
John and Heidi.
Hey, it's John from the John and Heidi Show. Join me and my wife Heidi at 80s in the Sand, a week-long 80s event this November 11th through the 18th in beautiful Punta Cana. That's in the Dominican Republic. You'll get to meet and listen to 80s bands like Loverboy, Starship, Howard Jones, and many more. Plus, meet 80s icons from the movies like Anthony Michael Hall, Andrew McCarthy, and several others. Get all of the details at 80sinthesand.com. Use promo code RADIO to get a $200 immediate refund per person. That's 80sinthesand.com, promo code RADIO.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. According to psychologist Dr. Herbert Hoffman, odd couples, unions in which one spouse is a neat and tidy spouse and the other is a sloppy spouse, are not only very common, but they also tend to be very successful. What do you think of that, baby?
Well, we have been together 17 years.
Tidy Heidi. So what does that make me? Sloppy John.
You know what, though? The more
we're together?
the busier I get,
Yeah.
the less I just care. I'm just like, leave it, whatever. I don't even care anymore.
It was funny the other day, over the weekend. We had dishes.
And now it's to the point where it's getting disgusting, and you actually do care when it starts to get gross, and then you'll clean up your own things.
I'm going to do something about this. We had dishes, because we were kind of just doing a lazy day. We didn't really celebrate the big Super Bowl thing, but we kind of had like a lazy weekend, and for a bit there, we were all out of forks, and there were no plates left.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm going to do the dishes.
I went in the kitchen, I was like, this house is a disaster.
It was bad. It's real bad. Anyway, they say 70% of all marriages are made up of odd couples, according to this Dr. Hoffman. He said like-minded people don't get along as well as odd couples who seem to get more of a kick out of their relationship. Dr. Hoffman says, he does have a word of warning, though. He says the neat partner should not try to change the sloppy one because he or she was born that way. Okay, can the sloppy partner change the neat one?
I don't think that being sloppy is the way you were born.
Oh, I was born sloppy.
There's no way.
It was such a mess. It was so sloppy.
No.
I was also born late. So there's my excuse for everything in life.
Sorry. I don't buy that for a second.
I was also born fat, so let's get that covered.
Nice try.
What else could I throw in here?
Nothing.
Okay. Anyway, this is from a guy by the name of Dr. Herbert Hoffman, which is just a fun name to say. Go ahead and say it, Heidi.
Herbert Hoffman.
No, say Dr. Herbert Hoffman.
Dr. Herbert
Yeah,
Hoffman.
there you go. Isn't that fun?
I suppose.
Yeah. And you know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain. And this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your brain on drugs. A Swedish man convicted of a drug offense failed to return to prison after a weekend of home leave, but he was caught by police. Guess where?
Where?
At his own wedding. Yeah. They allowed a 24-year-old man to marry his bride, but whisked him back to prison straight afterwards, preventing the couple from spending their wedding night together. He wasn't supposed to be out anyway. So he got a weekend home leave? What kind of prison do they have in
what
Sweden?
kind of a prison sentence is that?
He was a drug dealer. Let me give you the weekend off.
Yeah, go on home.
Does he have
See
work
you here on
release?
Monday. It's like a job.
Good. I got some drugs I need to deliver. I mean, newspapers.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what it is. So anyway, apparently in Sweden they have a whole different system. It's like they do everything different over there. I don't know. It just didn't make a lot of sense to me. Coming up here, we're going to talk about your moment of duh. You've got your scoop of the day. A lot of fun stuff on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Marie was just trying to protect her job, but she committed a moment of duh when Jacksonville, Florida's Marie Cooley noticed a help wanted ad in the newspaper for a job that looked a lot like hers. She thought she was about to get fired. Not one to timidly sit by and wait for her pink slip. She snuck into the office one night. She accessed the company's computers with her own account and proceeded to delete 7 years and $2.5 million worth of architectural drawings. As it turns out, the job wasn't even hers that was up for grabs. They had no intention of firing her, at least before her little caper. On the upside, Marie may not need a new job for the next 5 years.
She'll be in prison.
Got felony charges. And the good news is there was a computer expert that was able to recover all of the deleted files. So at the end of the day, they didn't lose anything, but she lost her job.
Wow.
That is the wrong thing to do. I remember reading a story about a guy that was holding hostage a bunch of files. Was that like on this program like 2 years ago?
I don't know.
Years ago? I don't know. I don't know. We'll probably read it again someday because I find these things a lot. But there was a dude that had like the same kind of thing. He was losing his job and he was holding all the hostages file or all
the files hostage.
That's the one.
There you go.
Actually, I think that was on Forensic Files. I don't think that it was on this program.
I don't know.
I'm confused. Let's move on. We've got your scoop of the day. This is why we call this your moment of duh.
The scoop of the day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. If you want to be a good Samaritan to the homeless in your area, you might want to check to see if it's legal first. Believe it or not, all over the country, cities are passing laws to make it illegal to feed the homeless and illegal to shelter the homeless.
Oh, wow.
How is that illegal? I've got a link to this story if you'd like to know more. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. That is craziness. New research gives clear proof that weight loss surgery can reverse and possibly cure diabetes. Doctors say the operation should be offered sooner to more people with diabetes, not just as a last resort. 2 studies are, it says here, the first to compare stomach-reducing operations to medicines alone for diabetes. That's a word where they take diabetes and obesity and jam it together.
Diabetes.
Type 2
That's a
diabetes
fun word to
is
say.
brought on by diobesity. It's brought on by obesity. Millions of Americans have this, and they cannot make enough insulin, or they use what they do to process sugar from food. Both studies found that surgery helped far more patients achieve normal blood sugar levels than medicine alone did. The results were dramatic. Some people were able to stop taking insulin as soon as 3 days after the operation.
Wow. Cholesterol
and other heart risk factors are also greatly improved. So there you go. That's kind of crazy when you think about that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
3 days later. Your washing machine. Have you ever opened your washing machine to do laundry and you think, man, something doesn't smell too good in there? It says, if your washing machine smells worse than your laundry, it's time to clean the washing machine. Did you know you're supposed to do that?
Doesn't it get cleaned every time you put soap in it?
I thought so too, but it says even washing machines get dirty, according to the Today Show. And, what don't they know? Laundry, soils, detergent, all the hard water, minerals, all the stuff builds up in the washer in areas that you can't see, and over time they develop an odor. Mold and mildew in the washer lid and on the door also cause a little bit of a stink. Officials suggest cleaning every 6 months to avoid issues. I have a link to that as well, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Got a lot of links today, don't I?
How do you clean it? Does it say?
I think you put it in another washing machine.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't know, and
That makes sense.
I doubt that that's right. I'm pretty sure that you go in there and scrub it, I guess. I don't know. I did not click the link.
So it's not just something you can dump in there and then run a cycle, huh?
Should be. Maybe we should be. John and Heidi's washing machine
cleaner. There you go. See?
We should do that.
I like that.
If you're having one of those days when you feel a little low, wash your troubles away, literally. University of Michigan researchers have determined just washing your hands in warm water and plenty of soap not only cleans your hands, but it cleans your psyche, making you feel better. Cleansing is about the removal of residues, according to the study leader. They say washing your hands or taking a shower or even just thinking clean thoughts make people help rid themselves of a sense of immortality, luck or unlucky feelings, or doubt about a decision. The bodily experience of removing physical residue can provide the basis of removing more abstract mental residues as well. What do you think of all of that, mumbo jumbo?
I know I feel better after I've had a shower, a nice hot, long shower. I feel way better.
You know much about Mark Zuckerberg, the Facebook dude?
Not as much as you do.
Well, I watched the movie, and she wouldn't go with me. Well, Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg has been meeting with religious leaders and school leaders and business leaders in the state of Texas, not to give a speech on new technology, but he was actually there to listen and learn. Mark Zuckerberg is investigating the role that the church and the school and all of these different business leaders play in their community. They're trying to find a way that their website, Facebook, can actually do more to work with all these organizations that are already involved in the community. So, again, believe it or not, I have a link. Guess where it is? It's on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Radio advertising works. When it's done right, it works even better. There are many things you can do to get a better response, and shouting sale really isn't the best thing, believe it or not. Did you know that when you put words to music, they're 9 times more memorable? If you're trying to get people to remember your company, consider a jingle. We work with one of the very best jingle companies in the business, and we'd love to use music to help you grow your company. Learn more and hear examples at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We've got a guest joining us right now. I've been excited to talk to this young man because when I was younger, I shouldn't say a kid, but when I was younger and certainly felt like a kid, I used to watch this program from time to time called Saved by the Bell, and we have the executive producer of that program, Peter Engel, joining us. Peter, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. I love this. You got a book, I Was Saved by the Bell, Stories of Life, Love, and Dreams That Do Come True. How long did it take to put this book together?
5 years.
Holy cow. Now, in addition to taking the 5 years, it also took all that time to live the experiences too, didn't it?
Exactly. It's the journey.
Now, how many seasons did the show Saved by the Bell play on television in the United States here?
Well, we also were in 85 countries in the world, which is a record. There's no comedy had ever gone.
Wow.
More than half a dozen English-speaking countries. But every kid went to school somewhere, and they all want to know the California kids live.
Nice.
It took me 5 seasons on Saturday morning and 30 plus in syndication and foreign. Still today, it's still on multiple times a day. And so we did 5 seasons, and we did the prime time show, the college years.
Yeah, and I remember that too. That was fun. Now, the thing that's really neat, being attached to something like this is one thing, but being the executive producer, that's even more than just being attached to it, because you kind of help make it happen. But when you were getting all of the different characters and everybody that was coming together, were there some people that were almost Screech, but they didn't take the job, or almost one of the other characters? Were there some people that?
When it's right, it's right, and once you get the right person, you can't even think it would be anybody else ever.
Now, are there, of all the different people that were on the program, Saved by the Bell, is there any one person in particular that people ask you about the most?
Mainly Zach, Paul Gosselaar, and Mario Lopez and Tiffany Amber Thiessen, and of course Screech.
and I remember a couple years ago he was in the news for some kind of interesting things, but you sit there and go, everybody's human, so at the end of the day we're all going to do things that we do. But of all of the characters on the show, I think that's one of the things people liked the most is you could watch, no matter who you were, you could relate to somebody on the show, and probably more than one of the people.
Well, that was the concept. With Elizabeth Berkley, who played Jessie, that was the first empowered female with all her causes and all her feminism, but you had to make sure she was likable.
Exactly.
She was very, very good.
Now, in the book, there's some behind-the-scenes stories that told about the people that we saw on screen and some of the things from off-screen. What are some of the other things that we're going to find in the book, I Was Saved by the Bell?
Well, you're going to find out that the journey was not a straight line, that along the way I met some interesting people from JFK to John Lennon, to Orson Welles, to Betty Davis, to Bill Clinton, etc. The point is that it was many, many heartbreaks. And if you don't have your heart broken, you're really not into your show. And I never thought that Saved by the Bell, it's easier I wanted to make a difference. And it's easier to make money than to make a difference. And I had many shows that didn't, could, or should, and wouldn't, and didn't. And I didn't want to do a Saturday morning show. And yet it turned, and then after that I had 9 hits. It was a quest for a hit, a feeling that you've accomplished, something to make people think. And when we impacted with values a whole generation worldwide, we called them the Bell generation.
That's awesome. And it's kind of when, the generation or two before us maybe was Leave It to Beaver generation. And I really, truly think that, you would kind of be the Leave It to Beaver of the 90s, wouldn't you?
We would, and it endures till today. We're selling more T-shirts and hoodies and stuff today than we were on the air live. I mean, when we were on the air with an original.
Again, visiting right now with Peter Engel, one of the most prolific producers in television with more than 1,000 episodes produced under his banner, a bunch of different programs, but one of the most popular and most beloved is Saved by the Bell, and he's got a new book called I Was Saved by the Bell, Stories of Life, Love, and Dreams That Do Come True. Where can people find a copy of this book, Mr. Engel?
Mr. Engel was my father. I'm Peter.
Okay.
They can get it on Amazon, the e-book, or the regular book, and they can get a autographed copy on my website. I was savedbythebell.com. And selected stores. I'm not sure just which.
No problem. And I'm on that website right now, and there's a lot of great information on there as well. The website, IWasSavedByTheBell.com. Thank you for not only writing the book, but thank you for putting together a program that made a huge difference in the lives of many, many people. Thank you so much, Peter.
My pleasure, John. Have a great day.
Again, our guest today, Peter Engel. I Was Saved by the Bell is the name of the book. Stories of life, love, and dreams that do come true. You can learn more about this book on his website, IWasSavedByTheBell.com. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Are you looking for senior care for your mom or dad but don't know where to start? No one knows your loved ones better than you do, and no one knows senior living better than A Place for Mom. They've helped thousands of families find the right place for their loved ones. The Senior Living Advisors at A Place for Mom partner with thousands of families every month, listening and offering local knowledge and advice to help find the best senior living communities across the country. Call 1-800-471-5173. That's 1-800-471-5173.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Seawater loaded with mineral salts weighs about 1.5 pounds more per cubic foot than fresh water at the same temperature. How crazy is that? 1.5 pounds more per cubic foot. There's a lot of stuff in that water. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The only rock that floats in water is a rock called pumice. Fun stuff there. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
1 gallon of pure maple syrup weighs 11 pounds. Wow. That sounds heavy.
I don't doubt that.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Olympic badminton rules say that the bird has to have exactly 14 feathers.
Oh, there's an Olympic badminton?
Apparently there is. I think that's kind of funny.
I did not know that.
Say that one more time.
Badminton.
You say it with the N in there. I just say badminton.
Yeah, you say it wrong.
I probably do.
It's badminton.
And did you know, in 1905, 18 men died from injuries on the football field.
Yikes.
President Roosevelt, Teddy Roosevelt, stepped in.
Yeah, I learned about this on Drunk History.
It was on Drunk History. President Roosevelt stepped in and said, we need to come up with some rules so people will quit dying on the football field.
But that's not the way you said it on Drunk History.
No, on Drunk History, he slurred his speech and used a lot of profanity. And if you've never seen Drunk History before, maybe that's a good thing. All right, couple of fun facts for you there on a Wednesday.
John and Heidi.
This is Richard Lustig, the world's first and only 7-time lottery game grand prize winner. Since I endorsed Lottolicious, I have won something every single draw. They do all the work. You don't have to worry about running to the store to buy your tickets. They take care of all that. So if you're looking for the best way to play the lottery, to give yourself the best chance of winning, go to RadioLottoPool.com and join today. Again, that website is RadioLottoPool.com.
John and Heidi.
You ever wish you could turn the tables on telemarketers and start calling them to annoy them? Well, a man did that, kind of, sort of. Telemarketers, love them, hate them, whatever. They call at the most inopportune times, and they just, for whatever reason, don't take no for an answer. A Duluth, Minnesota man had enough of enough, and he turned the tables on a company that hounded him with telemarketing calls, calling it more than 100 times in 2 days.
Wow.
He said he started calling Minnesota Auto Glass after the St. Peter-based company telemarketers called him 3 times a day. And he said, I asked them to quit calling and they wouldn't quit calling. He figured the calls would stop when he signed onto the do not call list, but he was wrong. According to Mark, he says, I'm following the law and I'm asking to be taken off the list and they're ignoring me. On top of it all, they start swearing at me. That was where, when he said they flipped the switch with me, and I said, enough is enough. I'm going to go after you guys now. He started calling Minnesota Auto Glass in Duluth on a Thursday and placed more than 100 calls. He said, I just call them every 5 minutes and let them know that, no, I don't have a crack in my windshield, because that seems to be something that they're very concerned about. A Minnesota Auto Glass manager in Duluth said Mark's number has now been removed from the list and that proof of the removal would be put in writing. So there you go. That's what I need to do, apparently.
No. You don't have time in your day.
Here's the thing.
Do that.
I'm going to tell you something. I did, and I'm not encouraging others to do this, but I Googled it to see if it exists, and there is a thing where you can get a device. There's a guy that has a YouTube video that shows how you can put their telephone number in some auto dialer and call them like hundreds of times a day. I don't think it's legal, though. But I've been getting...
Why would it not be legal? Because if they can do it to you, why can't you do it to them?
But I think there's... I don't remember what it was called, but... When I was looking at it, I was like, I'm not quite that upset. But I have been getting, how many calls? It's got to be, dozens a day.
Easily.
On my cell phone. And they won't leave me. Just take me off the list, guys. Leave me alone. I don't need it. I don't want it.
Yeah.
And it's from so many different companies. But there's one in particular that's driving me nuts. And I was like, maybe I should just see if I could turn the tables on them like this little dude in Minnesota did. But anyway.
Apparently it works.
I haven't gone that far yet. Thank goodness. And if you're a telemarketer, I love you. I absolutely do. Because you know what? I know that's just your job, and you work really hard, and you get treated like dirt. And I'm always polite to people. But at a certain point, I'm like, no, I'm always polite. When they won't leave me alone, I'm like, guys, just leave me alone. Come on. I don't need this. I don't want this. Leave me alone. That's what I'm going to say on the radio anyway. Thanks for listening to the... it's remotely close to that. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Only 2 in 10 Americans say they're ready for the unthinkable. Are you ready for a natural disaster? What would happen if you were not able to go out to get food for your family during extreme weather? How long would you be okay without power and without access to get more food? Wise Company has the ultimate emergency preparedness pack with enough emergency food kits for a week, or upgrade to be prepared for a month or longer. Call toll-free 888-552-3759. It pays to be prepared. Learn more at radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
You know what's sneaking up really, really, really soon?
What's that?
Valentine's Day.
It is.
It's going to be here.
And our anniversary.
I know. Our anniversary is on the 11th, and then Valentine's Day is on the 14th.
It's this weekend.
I know. I cannot believe it. Time is flying, man. But Women's Day magazine says, what do you want most this Valentine's Day? You ready for this?
Okay.
I'm going to see if you agree with this. I'm going to guess the answer is no. So you should write down what you want really quick so we can because I don't want you changing your answer like halfway through. Here, write it on the back of my parking ticket, and then you can pay that when you're done. That's fine. Hey, sorry. So, Women's Day magazine asked, what do you want most this Valentine's Day? And 4% said, I would like a box of chocolates. 13% said, I would like some red roses. 20% said, I would like some diamond earrings. And 56% said, I would like a love letter. And what did Heidi say? I would like some wine, some chocolate, some guns, and some cigars.
Yeah.
Okay, all of those things?
Yeah. And in that order.
I'll get you a hug. Can afford that. All right.
You can afford chocolate.
I can afford
wine.
Oh, I got a couple of these things
You can
covered.
afford a few cigars.
I hope I don't forget to do this after I pay this parking ticket today before it goes up another $5. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Would you like to take a vacation, Heidi?
Yes.
Would you like to go somewhere unique?
No.
How about the white desert of Antarctica in their only luxury resort?
Imagine that. There's only one.
Yeah, the self-proclaimed most remote hotel on the planet, end quote, is a short trek from the South Pole. Visitors sleep in one of 6 heated fiberglass sleeping pods. Gourmet meals are dished up in the dining room. Activities include exploring the blue ice caves. No. Kite skiing. No. A sauna. That sounds all right. Or visiting a local colony of 6,000 penguins. That doesn't even
None of that
sound like it would smell
other than the
good at all.
sauna, but you can do a sauna anywhere.
However,
it's nice.
It's not cheap. Guess how much an 8-night adventure would cost?
I have no idea, but
Just
it's insane.
Take a wild gander, because I doubt you're going to guess. For 8 nights.
8 nights for one person?
For one person.
I don't know, 15 grand.
No, you couldn't even touch it for that. That's not even probably enough for one night. 8-night adventure costs $72,000
That is
a person.
insane. Who would do that?
I don't know. If you want to know more, I've got a link at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Do you shop online? Do you like to save money? Save money with Honey. Let me explain. Honey is a really smart tool that's free to use. I'm not really an online shopper. I get as many things locally as possible, but there are some things you can only buy online. So when I heard about Honey, I thought, what the heck? It's free. I'll give it a shot. The very first time I used it was for a domain name. It's usually $12.99. Honey searched the internet and found me a discount code, so I bought it from the same exact website for just 99 cents. So I saved $12. It's absolutely free, so what do you have to lose? Check it out at SaveMoneyWithHoney.com. You know, your car can be a dangerous place, even if you're still parked in a parking garage. It says bacteria can be found all over the place, especially on the steering wheel, ugh, along with the dashboard. Eesh. But the spots found to have the most bacteria, that's the shifter. Microbiologists from Aston University in Birmingham, England, found that the typical car has 283 different types of bacteria every square centimeter. The gear shift is what they call the shifter, has 356 germs per square centimeter. Cars where children and pets frequently ride have the highest amount of bacteria because those kids and pets are yucky, according to these guys. Cars with higher mileage have more bacteria than newer cars. If you want to know more, you can listen up here. It says we spend an average of about 3 years of our life in our car. 25% of us eat in our car at least once a week. 25% admit that they have littered with food wrappers and empty drink bottles and cans. Oh, that their cars are littered with. That makes sense. 16% confess they typically leave uneaten food in the vehicle. And 50% said they would agree that they never let their home get as dirty as their car. I agree with all of that. So my car, I'm not going to say it's tidy by any means, but I don't leave...
It's disgusting.
No, it's not disgusting.
It's disgusting.
I don't leave food laying around in there and stuff. I have a lot of stuff that's in my car that I need to tidy up a little bit better. But I have like papers in the back seat. The other day, it looked like a homeless man was living in there because I had 2 different coats that had hats, and it looked like a homeless man was living in the back of our car. I was like, wow,
it's disgusting.
I should probably tidy that up one of these days. So, how gross is that though? That all the germs all over in a car.
I'm not a germaphobe. I don't worry about germs at all.
None of it
at all.
Doesn't even bother you
ever.
So if I told you that mouse over there is just covered in germs, you just licked your mouse. You know how gross that is? Oh.
I'm not worried about it.
Okay. Anybody else that's got to use this studio, keep in mind, Heidi just licked the mouse. And it's almost time for us to go. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news. First of all, I cannot quit looking at your mouse now. For those of you that were not listening earlier, we was talking about germs, and Heidi licked her mouse just to prove a point. And she did it, too. It wasn't just, pretend wink, wink for the radio, which you could have very easily done. Nobody was going to know if you really did it. I was sitting right here. I got to kiss you later. I don't know if I'm going to now. Mouse licker. Still no. Hey, if you need a different pair of glasses for seeing different things, like reading glasses or distance glasses or any of that, bifocals were invented by a really smart dude by the name of, do you remember?
Albert Einstein?
No. What? No, Ben Franklin.
Oh.
Benjamin Franklin invented bifocals. But if you wear bifocals or what they have now called progressive lenses, there's something really bright on the horizon for people like us. Someone has invented a pair of glasses with lenses that adjust themselves on the fly. So as you're looking around, the lenses adjust for you.
I think that would be really weird to look through.
I remember, because I have reading glasses. I got a pair of bifocals that were progressive lenses. I couldn't wear them.
Yeah.
Because when I would walk around, I felt really dizzy. And they said, oh, you'll get used to it. I never did get used to it. I was like, I'm going to just wear my old glasses. Otherwise, I'm getting dizzy all the time.
But you didn't wear them all the time either. You only put them on when you were wanting to read.
That was my whole plan, though, was because I have reading glasses and I would keep losing them. And I had to have like a pair here and a pair there. I was like, if I just got bifocals and just left them on all the time, I'd be fine with that.
You're such an old man.
But I couldn't do it.
Gotta have bifocals already.
Put these down. See, I can see you perfectly now, and I can see the screen. But now I feel like Santa Claus when I wear my glasses. Do you like it when I wear my glasses down like that?
No.
Are you attracted to me right now? Is this a good look for me?
Yeah. Between those and the Crocs, that's one heck of a
She's making fun
one heck of a look.
My shoes. I had an issue with my foot. My foot was sore, and it felt really good when I wore my Crocs. And she does not like those at all. She's
They're
like,
awful.
I was just one
just
styling,
awful.
sexy man.
I mean, that is the final sign that you have just given up on life. When you purchase a pair of Crocs.
Hey, other Croc wearers out there, Croc wearers unite. I'm with you. All right, if you'd like to know more about these reading glasses we were talking about that adjust to your eyes, I've got a link, believe it or not. I got a lot of links today at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening on a Wednesday.